There we go. All right, so let's get started. So this webinar workshop is about the counsel method. So this is all about getting in the fast lane for your life mission and using this method to rise to global influence so that you can make the impact that you want to make with your life, with your business. And this method has been used by the greatest heroes in history, the people that have made the most impact. You know, we go back to Abraham Lincoln, Henry Ford, Benjamin Franklin, up to modern day people with great impact: Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, Gandhi, Elon Musk, and many more. So we're going to get into how you can use this in your life business so it can create breakthroughs with any challenges that you're going through right now. So my question for you is, do you have a council of advisors for your life mission? Because every great hero requires advisors around them to make it through with their mission. Whether it was Anakin in Star Wars, Frodo in Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, or King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, every great hero requires advisors around them because it's too much to do alone. Fun fact, if you're a Star Wars fan, maybe Anakin could have used some more better advisors. Maybe he went to the dark side. Anywho, though, here's 3 quick stats for having an advisory council for your life mission. So number 1, 86% of business owners with an advisory council say it has a significant impact. Number 2, 24% increase in sales for businesses with an advisory council. Number 3, 18% increase in productivity for businesses with an advisory council. And this is all from Forbes.com and a BDC survey. So these numbers, my question for you is, what do they mean to you? You know, 24% increase in sales. What does that look like for you? Say that 24% increase every month. Is that $10,000? Is that $20,000? Is that 30, 50, 100K? Is that $1 million? What is that for you that is being left on the table by not having the right advisors around you? And in terms of productivity, 18%, you know, it's about 20%. That's about a fifth of your workday. So if you work 8 hours a day, that's over an hour and a half, roughly, of productivity. So what could you do with an extra hour and a half with your business? You know, what type of conversations could you have? What type of campaigns could you launch with that extra hour and a half? And that's just one day. You know, that's over 5.5, 7.5 plus hours per week. So we're talking about really meaningful metrics for your life and business. And so that's why not having an advisory council is the slow lane, because doing your mission alone takes more time. So another question for you is, have you ever had these thoughts? Just like, man, if I'm so smart, why can't I crack the code for my mission? Let me guess. You've already had success in your life. You have a track record that many people see as successful. And at the same time, though, as your life mission has started to emerge from you, it hasn't quite been as easy as things in the past. And if that's what it's been like, then you're definitely not alone, because this happens like clockwork to successful entrepreneurs, because the life mission journey is a combination of 2 things. It's an inner journey of figuring out who am I? Who are you at your core? What do you really care about? What do you want to do with the rest of your career and your life? And it's combining the outer journey of taking your passion and providing value in the marketplace for your life and business, and figuring out how that works together. So the inner world and the outer world, inner world and the outer world. Whereas when we're not doing our life mission, we can just focus on the outer world. We can just focus on the skills, and maybe we don't love it, or maybe we kind of like it, but we, just focus on providing value in that way, and it works, it makes money. Yet the fulfillment of having purpose, passion, and profit requires that balance, that combination of inner world and outer world. And that's why it's a unique challenge. It really is. So perhaps you've also felt that you're like, man, maybe I'm too spiritual for marketing groups. And at the same time, maybe you feel too focused, too successful for the spiritual groups that you've encountered. So this kind of, again, inner and outer world blend is a pretty rare thing. So if you're feeling stuck in any way like this in the slow lane, it's totally okay. And it's happened to a lot of us. And I'll share a bit more about my story of how I got out of that slow lane. So another symptom or symptoms of the slow lane is that your business makes great money, but your life mission needs more momentum. It's like you feel split between your moneymaker and your mission. You're grateful that you got a moneymaker, it provides for you, it gives you the life that you used to dream of. And at the same time, it's like your mission is pulling you in a slightly different direction. And another way of looking at it is like you feel split between your business and your deeper purpose, your deeper passion, that thing you really want to do with your life. So feeling in between those. And that's what the counsel method solves better than anything I've ever seen. Nothing's coming even close. So that's why it gets you in the fast lane for your life mission. So it's about having a circle of advisors, the right people around you, so it accelerates your life mission forward. You are able to get feedback continuously, quickly, to move past challenges that otherwise it would take forever to get past by yourself. And a circle of advisors around you that helps you weave together purpose, profit, and passion every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year in your business. So in this webinar, what we're going to cover and what you're going to discover is, number one, how you can use this method to have faster success for your life mission. Number two, how you can use it to have higher efficiency for your life mission. And number three, how you can find those trusted allies for your life mission. So, and of course, I'll be hosting it. My name is Sebastian Cruze, and I help entrepreneurs with a global vision create their masterpiece by aligning their business with their life mission. It's all about alignment here, so that purpose, passion, profit flow together, and you can make the impact that you feel in your chest. We all have a way of making an impact. We all have something that's deep within us waiting to emerge. And that's really what gets me going. That's my passion, is helping entrepreneurs bring that out, combine that with their skills, and make an impact in the world, because the world's in a lot of pain and it really needs it now more than ever. So quick few bullet points about me. I discovered my life mission at 24. I'll share a little bit more about that. That led me on a journey of studying over 100 famous geniuses to figure out what was their journey to making the impact that they did. I've hosted over 200 plus mastermind sessions, bringing entrepreneurs together to help their businesses move forward. And I've hosted over 25 mastermind days. So a brief story about how I formed my counsel. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because this is pretty new territory. There's not much talk of this method there's not really talk about this concept. And I just kind of stumbled across it, didn't even realize it. So I want to share this with you so that you can get a feeling sense of what those pieces were together, so you can use it in your own journey. So for me, it started with a networking piece, which is like a millionaire mastermind that I was fortunate to be selected for as a young entrepreneurship. I was given a scholarship. So I believe I was 21 at the time. And so I got the scholarship. I definitely didn't have $1 million business at that point in my life, but I got to be surrounded by business owners with millions of dollars in revenue. And that shifted my mind and created incredible networking. That was one piece. A second piece is life coaching, which was a spiritual mastermind that I applied for and was accepted. It was very intense, very, very intense, more like an initiation than a workshop. And so I went to London 4 times for a total of 8 weeks to get ultra clear on who I was, what am I here to do, and also learning tools that I can share with others to accelerate their process. Because, some people, the tough truth is that the majority of human beings die on this planet without knowing their life mission. That's the truth. And so from that percentage, even fewer percentage end up getting a sense of what their life mission is in their life. And then even fewer in that make progress on their life mission. And even fewer than that make the impact that puts them at peace when they pass away, that they make the impact that they knew every cell of their body was designed to achieve, that they finally did that when they pass away, feel at peace. It's a very small percentage. So combining these all together is absolutely necessary. So what I did is then I stumbled across it like a business building mastermind. So it was a 40K mastermind for the year. And this was all about how to get my mission out into the world in a predictable way, producing value for all that was involved. So it was like, all right, the nuts and bolts of like, I can feel the mission in here. I can see it. I've got like the right networking around me, but how do I form that into the business? So when you're looking at forming your council, you want to have all three. You want to have all elements of all these three, because it's synergistic, and missing one is like missing a wheel on your car. You might be able to limp along, but it's not really going to go the speed you want. Okay. So now I'm just going to share a 3-stage journey of how these pieces came together. And what I invite you to do is to pay attention to where you feel like your journey is right now, because then it's going to give you the sight of what's next on your journey. And it's kind of like Donald Miller uses this example of, if there's a river that you're looking at, you're on one side of the river. And in our case, for this context of this webinar, say your life mission moving forward is on the other side of the river, and you want to get to that other side. So what we're looking for here is, what are the stones, like those rocks within the river that you can jump on one stone, find another one, jump on another one, jump on another one, and then make it to the other side of the river, which in this case is your life mission moving forward. So keep an eye out where you feel like you're at in this 3 stages and what's next. So for me, my life mission journey began at 17. And this stage of my life was all about profit. It's all about money. That's all I cared about. It was getting rich. And so at 17, I 11x'd a 2K investment in stocks with SiriusXM. Grew to 22.5 grand plus. At 21, I had my first passive income week through YouTube. So it's 2.5 grand in passive income. That just totally blew my mind, that I could make money without even working. And at 21, then I also built a multi-6-figure business marketing agency. So at that time in the world, I felt like I knew everything in the world. I was a young boy with a huge ego, and things were working out. So I felt like I had all the answers. And at 22, I lost it all. Lost it all. That's a story for a different day, but completely lost it all. Had to go in debt. And at that point, I wanted to end my life. Like, I was so broken and so embarrassed and just so broken as a human being that I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to do a good thing for the world, help my team, help the world. And it's just not working. So in that moment, long story short, that's when the energy of my life mission emerged through me. I didn't know it at the time, but I just knew that there was this energy that said, you know what, fuck it. I know I'm here to help the world. I know I'm here to be of service with my life. And if I have to die trying doing that, I'm going to do it with every breath in my body that I have. And it was at that moment, it was just like my ego had just been ripped out, large of it at least. I always got some of it, but a large of it had been ripped out. And my commitment got totally clear to my life mission, because I had lost everything that was important to me. So the only thing left was my true reason for living, which was my life mission. So that's when I doubled down on my life mission, gave it everything. And what ended up happening next is I started training with a couple mentors that showed me about how to go through this life journey mission. It's one of my advisors, a couple of advisors. So after I started following what they said, at 24, I had a multi-6-figure SEO company, got the 15-hour work week, so I had more freedom. And then at 24, that's when my life mission unfolded to me. That's when I heard the voice. And what happened was, I was on a plane flight, up 10,000 feet in the air. And I just felt the desire to start drawing. And I'm not like a big drawer or anything, but it's just like, I could just feel it. And I pulled open my Maverick notebook, and my hands started going on autopilot. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, there's 2 symbols in my notebook. And I'm like, whoa. And these are the 2 symbols. So I'm just staring at them, and I just feel kind of like just in a trance, almost like mesmerized, because there's just energy coming back and forth through them. And that's all of a sudden when it happened. It's like I heard the voice, I felt it, and it was like my life mission totally came open for me in an instant. And it was just like a rush of energy. And what I saw in that moment was that the world, the most powerful people in power on this planet, have been using and abusing this planet and its people for thousands of years. And in this vision, I saw that there was going to be a turning of the tide, that there was going to be an opening, a window where people who had real power were able to help the world, help the people, and lead the world in a positive way. It was like a changing of the guard from the old manipulation and control to the new service and protection. And that's what I saw in an instant. I saw that my mission was to help bring together leaders that would be a part of that transition and who would wield power with service and integrity and get real results. And so to further illustrate this, that's what I felt is like this people have been eating the world and just, destroying it for all this time. And here's something that I discovered later, just to kind of emphasize this point. So this is from Nathan Mayer Rothschild, and this quote, it's a banking family. So it's a quote from 1800s. He says, "I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets." Now, England at the time was so big, they controlled so much land that at every part of the day, the sun was shining on at least one part of their land because they controlled from the UK to Australia to Africa, all over. And he says, the man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. That was a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. So this has been happening for a long, long time. And what we're at right now is we're at this unique point in history where we're on the cusp of a new renaissance because technology and psychology have advanced and are advancing to the point where they can merge together to blast us forward in a way that we've never even seen before. The classical Renaissance was an explosion of human creativity, innovation, art, and now we are poised for round two, where we see greater increases in health, where you can have the vitality of your 20s and 30s long into your 80s plus. And this is coming out fast. Greater opportunities for wealth with the online gig economy and how it's easier than ever to run your own business online, greater opportunities for wealth and greater opportunities for happiness. The level of psychology that's coming out where tried and true ancient principles of spiritual wisdom are merging together with the latest science and technology of being able to track those changes. So we are living at the most incredible time in history right now. And what this means is that not only can our species catapult forward to global abundance, and it's also turning a tide where the people in power are actually serving the people. What a concept. What a fucking concept. That the people in power could actually be wielding their power for good instead of just lining their own pocket and caring about their own things. So that was what unfolded to me in that moment. Yet my life mission didn't just come together the next day. So it was like the journey of like, okay, how do I take what's feeling here, what I'm feeling here into the world and get these people together? So in your case, what do you feel inside? What's calling to you, whether it's been a whisper, whether it's been like a sledgehammer, like being like, hey, we need to bring this into the world, whatever it's been for you, what is that? So this next step is like bringing that into reality. So once I felt that, I was like, okay, my SEO business is not is not like part of the grand plan here. So I optimized that to remove myself from it. So I got it to the 4-hour work week for myself. And then at 25, I launched Life Mission Mastermind. So bringing these entrepreneurs together. And this phase, forgot to say, is that this is like passion and profit was starting to come together. So it's like, okay, we're still going to make money, but like, what's the true passion that's coming through here? And then that brought me to the third phase, which is purpose, passion, and profit all together. So at 27, I got the SEO business to a 2-hour work week. And that's where I started launching at 28, the Code Your Genius brand to develop software and online training to help people with their life mission. And also taking a look at on a big scale at 29, like what is the simplified plan for us to get to global abundance? What are the specific metrics we need to reach to have a whole new level of abundance that humanity has never even seen? And if you're familiar with the United Nations 17 global goals, those are a big part of it because they got together and they said, what are the 17 global goals that if we hit them, we're doing very well as a species. We have a wealthy planet. So that's in that plan for global abundance. And at 29, it opened up a handful of seats again for the Life Mission Mastermind, because at this time, those years, hadn't even had any new seats open. So that's where purpose, passion, and profit are flowing together. So in your life right now, where does it feel? if you gave yourself a score, where are you at with profit? Where are you at with passion? 1 to 10, where are you at with purpose? Goal here is to have high scores for each of these flowing through into your life. And that's what the counsel method helps you do. And that's why it's important to have a well-rounded counsel of people that are connected to their mission, connected to, because if a person's not connected to their mission, then it's like they're missing something in your counsel. Also, you want to have experience, so a strong track record in life and business. Knowledge is one thing. People can know knowledge. You can go to YouTube videos and find a bunch of knowledge. Wisdom is applied knowledge. It's through experience, and wisdom is of the highest value. And then truth. You need to be able to have a level of trust, a high level of trust with your advisors so that they can give you the truth, concise and direct feedback. And since you have that trust, you know that they are coming from the right place. You know they have your best interest at heart. Because if you want to move fast with your life mission, you need to hear things that you don't want to hear. You need your advisors to tell you things that you don't want to hear. Because it's like, oh, okay, let's focus on what needs to be focused on. Maybe you have a bunch of different ideas and the advisors say, hey, we need to pick one, maybe two right now. That's not what you want to hear, but that's what you need. Maybe you're like myself, where you're very innovative. You can see the future and you're moving forward and you're always developing new techniques that are pushing the envelope of what's possible and what's available. So what I hear, the things that I don't like to hear is like, okay, we need to put that on the shelf for like next year or 2 years from now, or even sometimes 5, 10 years from now. We need to focus on these few things. And yes, let's take note of those innovations, but put them on the shelf and then we can pull them on at the right time so we keep focused. So, and it's all about the higher quality you have on your counsel, the faster progress you'll have. So let's get into some nuts and bolts of having your counsel. So it's like, now we're at the concept of like, what is the concept of your counsel? How does it help you in your journey of those 3 phases, red, yellow, and green? And now let's get into the next level of specificity of what does that look like in your business? So a few steps here, and I'm actually just going to go like this. A little on the fly edit there so it's not too much. There we go. So number 1 is get your group. Step 1, keep it simple. So we've tested a lot of things with this, and what we've found to be very useful is that, well, we just found this to be the best. So 5 people when online. So this is like the Zoom format where everybody's there, everybody's showing their video, and you got 5 people. Anything more than that, it gets to be not enough share time. So what we use is a weekly rhythm, and then we take a week off every month. So it's usually about 3-4 weeks a month. And so what happens is you're able to get online with your group, and you have time to share, which also you get time to get feedback on. But it's also pretty tight and structured as well, so that you can go in an hour, 15, hour and a half, get your feedback, share your feedback, and then boom, bounce out and get with your week. Because if you have big goals and you're here to solve big problems, time management is top of the line. That's what you need. So 5 people online, that's what we found to work best. 5 to 10 people in person, typically, for the type of style of getting and receiving feedback. Step 2 is set your time. So 10 to 20 minutes online is what we've found to be the best, depending on how many people. And this is your time where you share what's the number 1 thing you need feedback on right now. What's the number 1 thing you need feedback on right now? You go into that call with that. So then you can get that one thing and move forward on your business the rest of the week. And this could be your website. It could be your Facebook ads funnel. It could be your YouTube video. It could be something more personal, like with your team. Maybe there's an issue with your team, or maybe it's who to hire, or maybe it is something even more personal. It's just like something that's going on in your life with a relationship or a personal thing or a spiritual thing. We focus on business here, but our business is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. And absolutely, the things happen in our relationship, our family, all these things are a part of it. So when you have the right counsel, the trust is there, so it allows you to open up more. And I recommend not recording these. We found that people, even if they're open and honest, like they're more comfortable sharing that last 2% if it's not recorded, and that makes all the difference. So 30 to 45 minutes in person, again, depending on the people. That's when you set your time. And then number 3 is focus your feedback. So you don't want your advisors to be taking up an hour to give you feedback. It's not good for them and it's not good for you. So it's this board of advisors level of honesty. So where it's just cutting to the point and just direct. That's what you want. And that's what you want, and that's what's most efficient for everybody. And again, trust is the biggest thing here. So as you're building up trust over time with people, over the weeks and over the years or the decades, you have that trust because you know they're coming from the right place, and they've seen your evolution throughout your life and business. And that's the powerful thing, is that every time you do this, it stacks just a little bit more of trust with your counsel. And they know that, okay, you went through a really tough patch, 3 years ago when your business shifted or when your life mission awakened. They knew they could hear all the different changes happening in your life. So also, the more time you have with your counsel, the faster their feedback can become, because they know all these different data points about you, all these nuances about you, all these nuances of your business, all these changes in the journey of your business. So they're giving you hyper targeted feedback, as opposed to what happens in new groups. If a person's always going to new groups, you have to explain your business. You got to give context, all these different things in the beginning. And then at the very end, you finally have time for feedback. And then you might have to repeat certain things. So having your counsel that you stay with over time is of the highest efficiency. And that was one of the things this webinar is like, higher efficiency for your life mission. Okay. So let's take a pause right here. Went through quite a bit. Let me just check the time. Okay, half an hour. Nice. So if you have any questions about the method, about the journey, now is the time to put them in. And as you think of questions, I'm going to take a quick drink, because you might be wondering, okay, get your group, set your time, focus your feedback. That's helpful. What's the rhythm to do that? The rhythm that I've found is, like I said, the weekly, take a week off once a month, and then getting in person with your counsel quarterly. And that's what big Silicon Valley companies do, typically when they've got their board of advisors. So having it where the Zoom weekly gets you in the rhythm is efficient for everybody, depending on where they're at. And then that quarterly getting together, depending on your counsel and your group, it could be a day, could be a weekend. Okay. I feel like there's one other thing before we go to the next section. So going back to the greats, for example, Abraham Lincoln, there's a phenomenal book called A Team of Rivals, which I recently finished. So it's about how he chose his cabinet as president as his rivals. And there are people that campaigned against him, political opponents. And the people were like, why on earth would you choose your political opponents to be your advisors? And he said, these are the smartest minds our country has to offer. And if I didn't bring them aboard, I'd be robbing the country. I'd be doing it a disservice. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. And so what he really understood is that he needed differences of opinion. He needed different viewpoints. He needed people who didn't agree on things. And that's part of the power of your council is you don't want everybody agreeing. If everybody's agreeing on everything, then that's a problem because you're clones. If you want to accelerate your life mission, you don't need a bunch of clones around you. You need people to tell you what you don't want to hear. People think of it from a different perspective. People think about different areas to focus on. And then you, as the leader, you're bringing that together to move forward with your life mission. Benjamin Franklin had a mastermind, I believe it's called the Junto mastermind group that got together, I believe weekly, helping each other with their businesses. Henry Ford had a mastermind group as well called the Vagabonds. Andrew Carnegie has a quote, I don't think I have right here, but he says essentially that it's not the success of his business isn't due to any one mind. It's about the group of minds around him, almost like a mastermind. Now, so he might have been like one of the first people to say the mastermind concept. And then moving back forward, it's like Elon Musk company has advisory councils for his companies. Steve Jobs had board of advisors for his company. So having people around us, and sometimes with these people, it was a handful of people, sometimes it was bigger. Having people around you is absolutely essential, especially the more and more level of impact that you have. Okay. Okay. So let's take a look at one of the questions here. With a new startup, how do I find people to help with little to no money to pay them for their interest? I have a website with my ideas that I want to license to SpaceX. Do I just show them that website? Okay. So there's two ways to do this. One way is like purely compensation. It's like, hey, this is your compensation, whether it's in stock, shares, or just like straight cash. That's one way. I think there's a better way. There's getting connected to people who share the same life mission. And it doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but it's something that's at least aligned with that, because then you're really connecting with them with purpose, passion, and profit. And when you're connected with people who are aligned with that purpose, passion, profit, there's a lot more options available. And so I'm going to share a bit about an opportunity to plug into an already created council. But even if you don't use that, I would take a look at getting really clear on what are your values and what is the purpose, passion, profit for you. What are the people that you want to have? And also look at it from like a standpoint of like, all right, here's the big names that would be nice to have on your council. Also, who are the people around you right now that you get a feeling for? And especially in this stage where, it's like, it's a new startup, what I get a sense is that it's going to be more custom for you on the advisor, because you're newer, so different things are going to appeal to different people. It can be something maybe where you're contributing to their company. It could be something where, and I would just ask them too. It's like, number one, get clear on who you want. Who is a possible one around you right now? And then I would have a conversation with them, share the vision, share the mission, and say, I value your expertise because of A, B, and C, and I would like you to be an advisor about this. So if that's interesting to you, I'd like to have a conversation of what would make sense for you. So it's a win-win-win all the way around, and everybody feels great about this relationship. And then just zip the lips and then let them talk. And you might be surprised about what they're looking for. I know I have been. It's like, money is a piece of it, but it's not all of it, and it's also what's the capacity that they want to contribute with. Some people are fine with a, weekly tempo. Some people are fine with like a quarterly, some people are fine of just kind of being in the wings. And then when you need them, they're there. Some people might have a synergistic element of their company, or maybe they have multiple companies and they're like, okay, well, if your company does well, I can see how it feeds into these ones. as allies. So let me know if that helps bring a bit more clarity of practical steps that you can take right now to start moving forward with forming your council. And one other thing I would say with that, like as I was just kind of stumbling across forming my council, what happened was there was times where I would do trades as well. So look for complementary skills. Because you might feel sometimes like, oh, I have a new startup, like, and might be comparing yourself to all the, massively big startups, but you also have many skills. You have skills, and search for what complementary skills you have that your advisors don't. So for me, with the spiritual advisors, it was marketing. So it's like I could bring, like I said, like 40K Mastermind and other things, spent, over probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing training. So it's like I could plug in and help them with their businesses that they're working on. And then they would give wisdom level of decades of spiritual guidance to me. And that synergy was very powerful for everybody. And so I would look at what your skills are, also your age too. If you're younger, then it's like, okay, there's youth, there's a certain tempo of what's going on. If you're, say 60s plus, then it's like you have life experience wisdom that's like, hugely valuable that you can't get that from a YouTube video per se. And if you're in the middle age, like use whatever it is to your advantage. If you're in your 30s, you're experienced enough to be out of your 20s, but still at a certain stage that's younger than the 60s. So literally whatever age you are at, there are benefits that you can bring to your advisors as well, if they're not at that same exact age. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go to, so here's, next we'll go into a opportunity here. So as I mentioned before here, I launched Life Mission Mastermind. So what I have done is for people who are looking to create their council and be around other entrepreneurs that can act as their advisory council, I've gone ahead and created that. So what we call this is the Masterpiece Mastermind. And this is about creating your masterpiece with lifelong allies. It's about having a community of trusted advisors for your life mission. And so it can help you follow your passion, grow your profit, and live your purpose. So I'm going to share a bit more about this, and whether this is for you or not, what I would definitely pay attention to is the components that we go on it, the journey that we go on it. Because I'm going to lay out what happens in the year, and whether you do this or not, it's really key for your journey. And it took us a lot of testing to figure out like what are the specific steps that a person needs to go through where their business is just totally aligned with their life mission. So what we did is we formed it to be like an incubator experience for your life mission. So you can just rapidly refine, align your business, accelerate it, get it out into the world at the level that you want. And it's inspired by the best business incubators. So like Y Combinator, 500 Startups, Capital Factory, Techstars. We took a look at, okay, what are they doing in the startup space to create product market fit? And how can we bring the life mission element to that as well? And combine that with our own proprietary genius technology and research. My mentor, who's a great spiritual advisor, he spent decades taking a look at what's the psychology system that a person's life mission can come through the fastest. And we bake that into what we've done. So that's an example of a synergy. He had decades of experience refining a system. I came in and brought in the kind of like the new school technology and language to merge those together. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to this one. Yeah, so these are the quarters in the journey. So take a look at their, feel free to screenshot too, because like these are the steps that you'll need to have your life mission fully rolling with your business. So quarter one is all about you, decode your genius. So you need to know, who am I? truly understand who you are and who you are not. Answering the question, why am I here? Discover the mission you are meant to achieve. Maybe you know that right away right now. Maybe you have kind of a feeling, but it's not quite clear. It's kind of fuzzy. It's getting crystal clear on that. What am I here to do? So what's the right business model for your genius? Because there's 22 different types of genius. And if you're not doing the right business model for your genius, it's not going to quite flow. Quarter two is who. So it's align your business. So the right product that is best suited for your business, the right audience. So who are the right people for your business to serve with your genius? Who are you truly meant to serve? And the right marketing. So what's the right sales funnel that's best suited for your genius? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it nothing online? Is it offline events, direct mailing campaigns? It's different for each business. And quarter three is we. So then once you have the right foundation, both internally and business-wise, then it's create your systems. So the right team to surround yourself with for your genius. And again, it's like, what are the missing elements that your genius doesn't focus on? And build your team around that so everything's flowing together, all bases are covered. Then we have the right automation, so the technology that is best for your genius, and the right freedom. So what's the workflow that is best suited for your genius? Are you somebody who really values freedom and flexibility and being able to pick up wherever you are and go, somewhere else, fly somewhere else, work somewhere else? Or do you prefer more of the structured of going into your office, whether it's a home office or a shared office, wherever it is, or the office, and plugging through your items and feeling really accomplished with what you did? What's right for you? So let's mold and align the business to be that, so that you're feeling great every day. And then quarter four is more. So it's grow your impact. So really now looking at what are the right allies, joint ventures that are best suited for your genius, so that there's a nice alignment of helping each other and growing. What is the right promotion? What exposure is best suited for your genius? It's kind of like what PR is best for your genius. Where is that? What angle to focus on? And then it's the right growth. So what's the right rhythm that is best suited for your genius? So what's your age? What's your stage of life that you're at? What's your family like? What's your relationship like? Where's your business at? What is the right rhythm? And contrary to public belief, and contrary to what all the Facebook ads tell you and tell us, scaling rapidly with reckless abandon is not always the answer. When I had my web design business, we scaled, did what all the Facebook ads said. We scaled, and 10x our revenue in 9 months. It broke the business. It imploded. It exploded. It was too much. I went from like 3 people on the team, myself included, to 25 full-time team members. I was working 100-hour work weeks, completely stressed. I was living in a prison, but I couldn't even be mad because I created myself. So when we're doing your life mission, we don't want to create that at all. Really, what we look for in the mastermind is creating the systems and the alignment so you can have the 15-hour work week, 15 hours or less with your life mission. We found it actually creates the greatest gains. So where you're at with your life, is it a time to sprint or is it time to pause and steadily grow? That's what we want to be mindful as well, because we're really playing the long-term game. So this structure has really given powerful results, and it's focused on action, alignment, and allies. So here's an example of 3 members, what they've shared. Dan Russell has been a member of over 4.1 years. What he talks about is consistent progress. So he says this has been the best asset for steady progress in the right direction. Brenda, who's been a member for over 1.6 years, talks about the rapid idea refinement. Says consistent feedback has been so key for faster business growth. Because again, finding that product market fit of like, okay, what is the product that I want to focus on? What is the audience? Which way do they want that product or service? Having a circle of advisors where you get that feedback helps refine it faster. And then allies. So Michael's been a member of over 2.6 years. He says trusted collaboration. So having people around me I can trust has brought a clear ROI. That's one of the powerful things. That allows us to move faster when we have years built up of trust with each other, and also perhaps do deals that maybe you wouldn't venture off with people you couldn't quite trust. So all this comes together through online sessions, live weekends, one-on-one coaching. Actually, we got a live weekend actually coming up this weekend. They're in Phoenix, Arizona, and that's where we mix the online sessions with the weekly. So yeah, we get together in the weekly, quarterly events. Again, building trust, building camaraderie, and getting dialed in business and life coaching focus. So yeah, and who this is for people who are solving big problems in the world. And you might not be there right now, or you might be there right now, but you feel it inside that your life is meant for something more than just having a great business, making some money, calling it a day. It's for doing all those things and solving some big fucking problems for the world. And whether it's the kids, whether it's the plants, whether it's the animals, these are just a few of the options. There's 17 different ways to contribute into the world: technology, innovation, education. So this is not for just making meaningless money. There's plenty of things in the world for that. It's about making the money and using it to help the world. And it's about rising to global influence, becoming the influential genius you were born to be, and about having a round table as it grows and grows of different experts in different fields, so that we can, again, not be a bunch of clones, but we can have differences. Our differences are a power, with the shared mission of helping the world as well. And also it helps us know who to do business with in our own group. So it's like if a person has, experience with corporate training or YouTube or investing or technology or SaaS, whatever it is, it's like, oh, okay, that's the expert that we go to within our own group. So if you'd like to have a conversation about the Masterpiece Mastermind, you can go ahead and go to this link. So what this is there's nothing to buy on this call. It's just having a conversation of what this might look like for you and sharing the program details. And if on the call, after we go through the program details, if you feel like it's something that might be a fit for you, then what I'll do is I'll walk you through the application. And again, there's nothing to buy there. So what happens here is it's a 3-step process. So we have our call, submit the application, and then I take the application to our mastermind members. And everybody votes on the application. And then you and I have the follow-up call, probably like, the next week. And then if you're voted in, then you're extended an official invitation. And the reason why we do that is because, again, the fit of everybody together is the most important thing. It's everything. Okay. So you can go to that link, decodegenius.com/webinar call, and take you to a scheduler, and we can just have that conversation. And I'll kind of close with this thing, is this is the unifying vision that each of our mastermind members are connected to, is that our global vision leads our life. When we finish our life, we want to smile with a sigh of relief because we created the impact machines that will continue long after we're gone. Our masterpiece is complete, and we're proud of who we became in the process. God bless Steve Jobs and all he's done for us. At the same time, he had some regret at the end of his life of how he treated people and the people that he burned and neglected and abandoned along the way. So this is all about creating impact like that, but also being proud of who we became in the process. And we enjoyed our life while making the difference we were born to make. This stuff can get pretty serious: life mission, saving the world, all this stuff. And we also want to take a breath and a break, and also enjoy experiencing the best things of the world with comrades. So unfortunately, though, many people die with their masterpiece still left inside. And the challenge we ask ourselves is, will that be you? So what I say is, your masterpiece awaits you, and the world needs what you have to share. Each of these great people who have impacted the world started off with following a passion, started off following a curiosity, and over time it created something great. And I know you have the same within you as well. So if you'd like to have a conversation, you can go ahead to the link, decodegenius.com/webinar call. And we'll just have a talk, and we'll see where it's at with your business and see if it's the right thing for you to explore. And that will conclude the webinar for today. Made it underneath an hour. That's pretty cool. So I will be here. So Q&A. So if you have any questions about this, about the process, the method, about the mastermind, anything, I'll be here for a bit, free-form questions. let's see here. Ah, looks like the link's not working. Well, isn't that nice? Okay, sorry about that. My apologies. I will get the direct one from Calendly, and then I'll just put it in the chat. Copy link. All right, I'm going to test this. Make sure it works. Yep, it does. Okay. All right. That link will work. Okay, and then Don, if you can just let me know if that goes through once you schedule it, that would be great. And I'm just going to speak a little bit about the forming the council. So what I've found is that it's very simple, but it's not easy to do, is that the more we move forward on our life mission, the more we magnetize the people we need for our life mission. And it sounds simple, but the reason why it's not simple is that usually our pay the bills business pulls us in a certain direction. And then and it might even be within the same business, but maybe there's a certain product within the business, a certain service. Like for me, with our website business back in the day, when I was like 21, we could sell a lot of things. And that was part of our problem. People wanted to buy a lot of things from us, but instead of like focusing on what we were truly there to do, which the mission in the beginning was an education platform, but we kept getting pulled into doing websites, big social media packages, like up to 22.5 grand a month, social media package, 15K websites. Like we just kept getting pulled into there because there was the money, and then we'd have to hire new people to fulfill it. But then we had higher payroll. So then it was like the beginning of the month would start and be like, okay, God, we have such a payroll nut to crack each month. So it's like, all right, let me sell those things, or let's accept those sales that weren't truly in our lane. So the more we cut away the other things and just really focus on that true life mission business / life mission service, life mission product, it's almost like it sends out a signal that helps people connect to. But it definitely is a transition period of like balancing the finances and balancing the team and balancing your own workload and focus. And a very practical way of that is like for at least having an hour a day a week where you're really focused on like the life mission product / business. Okay, great, it worked. Fantastic, Don. Glad it was helpful and informative, and see you then, and best of luck. Speak soon. So the thing that I'll wrap up with on that is 1 day a week at least to be working on your life mission service product business, and then have it as a goal to then move to 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and then ultimately all 5 days. And it is a transition period, like no doubt about it. And so don't expect to just have 4 days a week for your life mission. Most likely, carve out that time, stay disciplined with that time. Maybe if it's even an hour, hour a day, but then have that and then build up from there. And as you're bringing more of your life mission energy into your business, it's a higher level of energy because you're excited. It's passion, purpose, profit, all moving together. So you're going to be more excited. People are going to feel your difference energy, and that'll magnetize more to you. So that's what we'll wrap up on that. Appreciate you attending, and I'm excited. I'm excited for you. You're obviously here for a reason. Your life mission is important to you. Making an impact is important to you, and you've got experience in business and life. So you're not starting this from scratch. So all those things together, I'm really excited. The world needs more people like you, and let's not stop here. Let's use this method, accelerate, rise to global influence, and make the impact, create the change that each of us wants to make. That's been this webinar. Take care. So, see you soon.